Karanja is right there, just about to speak to us about what's making headlines in the business world. James, what are the biggest stories at the moment?
I just have one question for Mr. GMD. When I hear about UAP, I just think insurance. Insurance. You know, it's nothing else.
I
but
thought it was
insurance.
asking you even when you offer.
Yes.
When did UAP drop the insurance?
Right.
He's the man to give us all the answers on that one here. And
Right.
just so that you know, this week I'm going back to my meat business, so that might be a shout out for this week. So we can always speak offline when you guys need some.
All right.
Please. For fresh cuts.
What do you think about the rates, though?
The NSSF rate,
rates?
it's generating a lot of heated debate, and rightfully so, because NSSF came out and they wanted to do it almost immediately. FKE and other partners are of the opinion that it should be graduated and people should be actually allowed. And then also it's also fixing the structural inefficiencies at NSSF as well. You can't move from...
But we don't have an option. We don't have an option.
That's the other challenge. Yes. But hopefully it will be inculcated in our mindsets very soon, because either way we still have to pay that 1080.
So why weren't we given a choice, you know, to decide whether or not we wanted to go?
Because NSSF is looking at your future. They're there to guarantee that when you enter into retirement, you have.
Do we have
some
to start
funds.
questioning some of the NSSF projects?
But that's why people like UAP are there, just to give you more access. But we will be talking to UAP Group Managing Director Dominic Kiharie.
All right, Michael.
Just setting the stage. I mean, when you talk about saving for retirement, and people like you in the financial services sector, and you hear of rates such as NSSF, just picking off where James is coming from, do you agree or disagree, or how do you rate that move by NSSF to spike pension rates?
Thank you very much, Karanja, for having me at the studio this morning. NSSF has a fundamental role to play in the country in as far as provision for retirement is concerned. Yeah. And now security in retirement is very important, because what you want during retirement is to make sure that our standard of living does not go down. So social security is one of the key pillars of retirement, providing pensions during retirement. The other pillars are private pension schemes are provided by various occupational pension scheme. So the move by NSSF, our understanding, is to address one of the key problems that we have in retirement, and that is security, i.e. you get people retiring and they don't have adequate pensions over retirement. So effectively increasing the contributions is to ensure that during retirement members have sufficient income to continue the standard of living and to address a big problem in retirement, which is poverty. Now, what they've also done is they've come up with something called contracting out. In other words, if you already have an existing occupational pension scheme, you can be able to contract out, i.e. the additional contributions below a certain minimum can be channeled to that occupational pension scheme. And we think this will provide members who are in occupational pension scheme with an option to ensure that they continue providing those contributions to those schemes. So I think the move is welcome, and I think it's very good to have debate around security, around social security, and more importantly around security during retirement, because retirement seems very far, but I can tell you the years go by, and it's important that we prepare adequately.
It dawns on you that yes, today no more employment, you have to start living, and then by that time inflation has already set in and there's nothing for you to have in the bank. But moving away from NSSF and that whole debate of social security, UAP is in the market looking for a corporate bond, 2 billion shillings.
Yes.
How is that going?
It's going very well. It's going very well. And maybe what I can do is I can just start by introducing UAP. I think the question is, did we move away from insurance? We haven't moved away from insurance. Insurance is our core business at UAP, and it will always continue to be our core business. What the group has done over the last 5 years is that they've consciously decided to play in a wider space, and this is the space of financial services. So we've redefined the vision of the group, and the vision of the group is to be the most innovative, the most revolutionary financial services group in Africa. So in terms of our business focus is broadly two-line, that is protection and investments. So we provide insurance services across 3 key business areas, that is general insurance, life insurance, and medical insurance. We also provide investment management services and property development and investments. So effectively, we're a financial services group, and what we'd like to do is to ensure that our clients can be able to see us as a one-stop shop. If they need protections, solutions against their assets, against their life, against their health, they can consider UAP. If they need investment solutions to make sure that they have adequate savings for retirement, to make sure that they're able to manage their extra savings carefully, they can consider UAP.
Coming back to the 2 billion shillings, now what does that do for UAP as a group?
Yeah, sorry, and I didn't address the question. Now, in terms of coming to the market, now, as a group, UAP is a large group. Currently operating in 6 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. We have over 12 operating subsidiaries. We service a market of a population of 200 million in the 6 countries. The group has assets in excess of 35 billion, with about 600 employees and about 1,500 financial advisors. So we're a large group. So we are growing, and as we grow, we do have needs for capital. Now, in terms of how do we raise capital, there are various options that we consider. And what we try to do from a treasury management perspective is to make sure that we approach the most prudent, if you like, solution on raising capital. So you raise capital in 2 ways. You can get equity from shareholders. We're already fully funded from the equity perspective. If you recall, about 2 years ago, we brought on board a group of private equity investors who provided the group with substantial capital infusion. The other option of raising capital is debt. You get debt. And debt, you can either go to capital markets or you go to a bank, right? So right now, the balance sheet of UAP is debt-free. And we decided after careful analysis that going to the capital markets through a debt offering is the most optimal course of action. So what that means is that we're offering a very interesting opportunity for investors out there who wants to invest in a debt instrument, in a corporate bond, to consider investing in UAP corporate bond. Now, the corporate bond is a short-term bond. It's 2 billion. 2 billion is definitely a small size. We do not want to
be heavily indebted as well.
Be heavily indebted. But we, in terms of our plans on executing our strategic plan, I think probably in the next year or so, we might be going again in the capital markets. So the size is 2 billion. It's going to open next Monday, period of 2 weeks. It's a 5-year tenure. And we'll be releasing information about the rates today, but we think it'll be between 12.75 and 13%. So it's very, very attractive. So I think the message out there is this is a fantastic opportunity to consider investing in a solid group. UAP is a solid group. It's got a solid balance sheet. It's backed by key shareholders. We're a public company with about 950 shareholders, and we think this is a fantastic opportunity. The minimum investment amount is 100,000. So individuals and corporates can invest. We've seen a very, very strong demand, and we're very hopeful that within the 2 weeks we should be able to raise the 2 billion that we're seeking.
Yes, this is coming right after the much debated and much talked about Eurobond. So are you likely seeing success as well?
Yes, I think in terms of the assessment of the market that we've done together with our financial advisors, I think is very positive. There is sufficient liquidity. There is substantial investments in the market that is looking to a home. I think the key issues around corporate debt is the quality of the issuer. So I think what people need to consider basically 2 things: the quality of the issuer and the instrument itself. So in the case of the UAP corporate bond, the question is, what is the quality of the issue? And our view is, I think UAP is a very strong financial services group with Pan-African ambitions. Right now, we are regional, 6 countries. We shall be generating very strong earnings going forward in line with the strategy. We've got a strong team that is executing the strategy very efficiently. And we think this is a fantastic opportunity to participate. So we remain very optimistic that we should be able to raise the 2 billion. In any case, the 2 billion is not a lot of money, and we think that we should be able to be successful.
Talking about shareholders, currently you're publicly traded over the counter, but there are plans to list. Now, was it April? We were told that should happen in about a month, but that is yet to happen. Perhaps what's the thinking about actually listing on the NSE? Okay,
maybe just to correct, I think in April we didn't mention about a month listing. I mean, if you recall, when we did the public offer in 2012, which was open in 2013, we had a very, very clear road map to listing on the main board of NSE, and we had a 2-pronged strategy. The first part of the strategy is to do the public offer, which we successfully did. We had a 130% oversubscription. We managed to increase our shareholder base from 25 to 950. So right now, for all intents and purposes, UAP is a public company. We're not a private company. Now, the shares are currently traded in the over-the-counter market. And just to give you an example, when we opened the public offer, we opened at a price of 60 shillings per share, which was January 2013. I checked the trades last week in the OTC market. The price has moved to 92 shillings, and that's over a period of about 15 months. So it suggests that
good capital gain as well.
Good capital gain, and the opportunity is very strong. So the second part of that process is now to list on the main board of the NSC through an introduction. Now, our plan is to that plan is still on course, and our view is that in the second half of 2015, we should be able to list UAP Holdings shares on the main board of NSC through an introduction. Now, when you do a listing, it's called an IPO, initial public offer. What it means is you raise capital and also you list. We've already raised equity capital. We don't, for now, our view is we don't need to raise any more equity capital. So what we just need to do is the shares which are trading in the OTC market, we just list them in the main board of the NSC, okay, and that will complete the entire process.
At 950 shareholders, I think you're 50 shy of the minimum requirements for CMA for
yes.
shareholders. So is that going to come from, are you going to re-offer to the public, or are you going to look for more private equity investors to come on board as well?
Okay, now that's a good point. For you to be able to list on the main board of Nairobi Stock Exchange, the minimum shareholders you need is 1,000. Right now we have about 950. Plus or minus a few shareholders. We have a period now of about 12 months to do the listing. I think we're confident within that 12 months we should be able to bridge that gap of 50 shareholders. We're aware that definitely there's some investors who took a block, and some of them will be looking to exit. Our view is we think UAP shares will continue to show very strong momentum in view of the very interesting things that we're trying to do both in Kenya and in the markets that we're operating, including new markets that we're going to go into. So we're confident that we'll bridge the 50 shareholder gap, and by next year we should have 1,000 shareholders, so we can go and list by introduction on the main board of NSC.
All right. Just going back to your product lines, I know insurance is core business,
yes.
But recently we've seen you move into investments, you've seen you do property.
Yes.
So what's the whole strategy about redefining, creating different portfolios to offer customers?
Okay.
The whole essence of being a one-stop shop financial services provider.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, the vision for the group has been well articulated by the anchor shareholders and, of course, the board. And the vision is very clear that we need to be a Pan-African financial services group, the most innovative, as it were. Now, in that ambit, our business focuses protection and investments. That is insurance, investments, and property developments. Yeah. So what we've done the last 2 to 3 years is that we have accelerated the execution of that strategy to make sure that we're on track to achieve our vision. If you look at our insurance business is very solid. Our background was general insurance. So UAP about 10 years ago was a pure general insurance business. We've made very good progress in this market in solidifying our business. We offer very good products and services on general insurance. But since this diversification strategy was articulated, we made very good effort to ensure that we grow other lines of business from life insurance. Now we have a very strong life insurance business that is working extremely hard to offer life insurance products both for individuals and for corporates. We have a very thriving medical insurance business, which currently is one of the largest in the market. Yeah. Over the last 18 months, we have done a lot of work to set up investment management subsidiary. In Kenya, we have set up UAP Investments. It's a wholly owned investment management subsidiary, which will provide, as a start, investment management solution to the entire UAP group, including to third-party investors and other investors. We got licensed last year in August, and I'm pleased to let you know that currently UAP Investment is managing 10 billion Kenyan shillings within a period of less than 12 months. So I think on the back of that, we'll take advantage of very good opportunities that we see in this market, including the African continent. I think there's a big story that Africa is the next frontier for growth, and we've seen that in our interaction with various investors, both in Kenya, the region, and globally. They're very keen to invest in sub-Saharan Africa, and we want to position this business to ensure that they see UAP Investment as a conduit for them to invest in the Kenyan market, in the region, and in Africa. So other business is property investment development. Naturally, as a large insurance group, we generate a lot of premiums, earnings. We have to make sure that these premiums are very well invested. So investment management is a very core strategy of our group to make sure that we deliver value to our customers. Okay. So what we've done is, in terms of property, is that we have currently property developments. Both the developments we've done in property we hold is in excess of 1 million square feet. We have landmark property projects in each of the key markets we're in.
Yeah.
To give you an example, in Kenya, we're currently developing a 33-story tower in the Upper Hill area. It's going to be completed next year. It's going to be a landmark in Upper Hill. Those will be the corporate headquarters for UAP. In addition, we'll have space. 75% of the building will be occupied by other tenants, and we've started the process of getting tenants on board. In Kampala, Uganda, we completed 250,000 square feet commercial development. It's the largest in Kampala, Uganda. It's a 4-tower, 8-story development. We completed in August of last year. We've had very good, inquiry from tenants. We've already let part of the building, and we hope to complete the letting by the end of this year. The other development we're doing is in South Sudan. As you know, we have operations in South Sudan since 2004. 2005, we were the first foreign licensed insurance company in South Sudan. On the property side, we've done a couple of things. We finished last year 15 two-bedroom apartments. We'll be starting a new apartment projects in the next 4 to 6 weeks, which we intend to complete by first quarter of next year. In addition, we're doing a commercial development, the tallest building in Juba. It's a 15-story development, 94,000 square feet, and this is the tallest building in Juba. And for us, that is, we want to work hand in hand with our partners in South Sudan to address a very big need for infrastructure, from office to residential to retail.
And how is the risk there right now,
well,
given the current situation?
Yes, I think South Sudan, like any new nation, are going through, if you like, the process of building a strong nation state. I think what happened is definitely sad. But it's not too surprising. I think any country in infancy, I think they go through some teething problems. Of course, ourselves, like any responsible corporate, we make an assessment of the situation on the ground. When there were problems, we, of course, we had to take precautions. However, our long-term view is that South Sudan will emerge even stronger. The business, the business opportunity is very, very strong. There's no question about it. And we've taken a long-term view in our market. Yeah. And we continue to act together with other corporates to try and contribute towards our process. We've been in discussion with key people, key actors in South Sudan, of course, to prevail upon them to make sure that peace come to the country and to secure the investments that have been made by various players, including institutions from Kenya, just like ourselves. So our view about South Sudan, it will emerge stronger, and we will continue investing in our market. So to complete our property projects, we do have a property project which will be coming up in Kiharie. This is a mixed-use development. We're on the early stages of planning for that, but we hope before the end of the year to kickstart that project. Yes.
You mentioned that you recently got into fund management, and 10 billion in 12 months is a substantial amount.
Yes.
How important is it to link those investments that you get, that money that you're managing for different people, and linking it to some of the investments that you are making?
Yes.
And tied into that, what kind of percentage of investment income are you looking to grow, whatever UAP is making right now, to kind of substitute what you also getting, or complement what you're getting from insurance?
Okay. Now, our vision for investment business is simple. We want to deliver value to investors. We want to make sure that, as far as the investments are concerned, we deliver very, very good returns at the minimal risk. Yeah. So the fact that we managed to raise, 10 billion, within 12 months, I think, is a testament to the fact that our investment philosophy and the team we have in place will continue to deliver. And the intention is that we will look for very attractive opportunities for investors. There are currently a suite of products that we will be offering to the market. There's some which are currently in the development stage. And the intention is that we'll be seen as, if you like, the key provider of key investment solutions, investment products and services, both to corporates, organizations which have got surplus funds and are looking for strong, returns, and individuals, just like yourself, people who belong to chamas, high net worth individuals that once they want to park their money, they'll consider UAP investment as a conduit. Now, in addition to that, and we've seen this with our clients, I mean, the clients who continue to enjoy very good insurance solutions for us, they want to come to, UAP. We offer them very good insurance solution, protect their car, protect their assets, protect their life, and then they have to go elsewhere and get investments. So we've addressed that need. So our clients now can enjoy the benefits of having protection solution that they need, both as individuals, protecting their assets, and also the investment needs that they have. So that we can offer, if you like, an umbrella of both, insurance, protection solutions, and investment, including corporates. Yeah.
Just if we spend some more time on property development, the biggest challenge in the market has actually been a source of long-term funds. I think banks were really struggling in trying to match the kind of length of doing mortgages, especially in terms of financing property development. But you have insurance companies such as yourself with vast money in the bank, even funds under management. So how important is it actually to create sources of long-term funds in terms of developing the property market, which by and large doesn't seem to have met its full potential?
That's a very good point. I think funding is a key challenge that I think we face on the real estate side. The cost of funding is actually expensive. If you look at the mortgage rates in this market, they're double digits. If you're going to address the big problem around affordable housing, we need to address the issue of ensuring that mortgages are affordable. I think it would be very, very interesting if you can get mortgage rates at single digits, 6%, 7%, 8%. The question is, why not? Why can we not do it? Now, so I think there are a couple of institutional challenges that need to be addressed. Players in the financial services industry who accumulate long-term funds, like ourselves, on insurance and pension, those funds we can actually deploy them into assets which are long-term. And I think ourselves we're already doing that. Yeah. Part of the investments that we gather from our protection products, insurance products, and pension products, we deploy them on long-term investments. So some of the real estate that we do it for the simple reason that it will give very good returns on those funds which we have. And I think the challenge is, to the market out there to make sure that there's concerted efforts by key players in financial services to deploy funds in the long term. The regulators have done their bit. If you look at the pension regulator, he has provided provision of ensuring that a percentage of pension funds are invested in even unquoted in private equity. We need to see more of that, including on the insurance side. There's been more work which has been done, but I think a lot remains to be done, so that we see long-term funds being channeled to long-term investment, from private equity to real estate. I think in the past, the exposure to real estate has been on the higher side. Probably I think what we need to do now is to diversify and perhaps invest more on private equity investments. Yeah, but a lot of work definitely requires to be done.
As UAP, obviously the first point of call is actually making a return, a substantial return for your clients in terms of investment. But how soon before you can actually see people like UAP actually moving away from commercial buildings as such and go into some kind of property development, not necessarily for the low end, but even for the upper middle end, yes, where I guess also housing is also another big challenge.
Indeed. That's a very good point. Now, on our real estate strategy, we are now very clear. In the past, we've done commercial development. They've been opportunistic and very successful. I mean, if you look at the buildings we've done in Nairobi, from the UAP Tower to Equity Center to Telcom Tower to European Union House in Kampala, UAP Insurance Building, all those are very successful development, earning very strong yields. From a real estate strategy, we are seeing very good opportunity across different sectors of real estate, and we want to ensure that we take advantage of those opportunities. Coming to your question of housing, we're definitely looking at housing. We're looking at it very, very carefully. We believe that we do need quality providers of affordable housing. If you look at the stock that is coming to market, apartments of 12, 15, 20 million. The question is, how many people will afford that? And you find right now it's actually a challenge. People getting into the housing ladder is becoming a challenge because the cheapest apartment probably costs you, what, 7 million, 8 million? Somebody who is fast in the job, clearly an apartment costing 8 to 7 million is out of reach. So we're looking at that space very, very carefully. And once we bring a solution to this market, we think it will be a solution that is going to address that, including other players in the market. So definitely affordable housing, we're looking to it. And I think there are different dynamics that needs to be addressed in affordable housing, including engaging with government to ensure that infrastructure is provided. The cost of the build itself, that needs to be addressed, including the funding. Because if you're able to bring these components down, then you can be able to provide a product that is affordable. So we're moving away from that. If you look at South Sudan, we have done residential development because there is very strong demand. And I think the residential development we've done is quality, very, very quality. We're very, very keen that any development we do must be quality, whether it's affordable housing or at whatever sector of the market. Right now, we'll be moving to retail. The mixed-use development I talked about in Kiharie to be retail and also hospitality. So we'll be addressing different opportunities we see in the entire real estate space.
So how soon before, as an individual, I can come and actually negotiate with the likes of UAP and move away from the banks?
No, I think you should do now. Look, there's always a cost to waiting. I think this is the time to do it. So definitely make sure I give you my contacts. Let's keep engaging. I think it's important that people take charge of their destiny. The key thing is to ensure that you have financial freedom, and you get financial freedom by starting early. Retirement is not far away. We need to manage issues about debts, both personal debts and even corporate debts. So I think the earlier you start, the better you can ensure that you build a very, very strong pot that will take care of all the needs that you have. Yeah. Right. And it's never late to start, so start right away and start with UAP.
All right.
Yeah.
Dominic, Kiharie, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
So smart, I guess by now you've realized there are actually different places you can actually go for financing and start saving for that much needed retirement.
Yes, but the question that I think still lingers is everyone is coming to the country to invest, but why is UAP going to South Sudan, Rwanda?
Yeah. We're actually doing both. We're investing here at the same time we're taking advantage of opportunities in those markets. Because remember, we are a regional player. We operate in 6 countries, including South Sudan. Now, real estate is one of our core pillars of our business. And when we went to South Sudan, and I can tell you the first time we went there, our team stayed in containers. I remember the last time I went there, I stayed in a container that looked very well. I was paying $300 a night. So, I mean, if you're in a market like that, you can do 2 things. You can
stay in a container or build.
Continue staying in a container or build offices. In fact, the first office that UAP stayed was just a very ordinary office. In fact, I think we've taken some photos.
Yes.
It's probably somewhere in our album. So we took a conscious decision that this market needs players who can make a contribution to infrastructure. So we decided, look, we're going to do it. And through the vision of our group chairman, engaging with our partners in South Sudan, we made that a reality. In fact, if you look at our development in Juba, unfortunately I didn't come with the pictures, but we share that with you.
Yes.
The very, very key development contributing to much needed infrastructure. We're doing the same with the commercial development, so people now can have quality graded office in Juba.
Any plans to cross over to the DRC?
We're already in DRC. We have been operating in DRC since last year. We got a license. We're operating an insurance brokerage. And once the market opens up this year, we'll start an underwriting business. Right. We're looking at property opportunity. So again, we'll be doing property in DRC. I'm not sure whether you've been to Kinshasa. Again, it's another city that needs, the demand for real estate is actually very strong.
So just briefly, are you going to cross-list?
Yes, we'll definitely look into that because it gives, obviously, our investors very good opportunity. But also remember, the reason why in this region is because of our clients. Some of our clients are regional. They go to this market and they ask, where's UAP? So we want to continue to be relevant to our clients. So very exciting opportunities. But Kenya is our core, and we'll continue investing in this market.
Great.
Brilliant.
Well, make some investments as well and see, check out some of those packages that might be available for you to take part in, or at least to invest some of that money into, because there's no money saved that goes to waste, or there's no investment made that goes to waste.